All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have some good news and I have some bad news. The bad news is you can't really trust strangers on the internet. And I know that's shocking. I used to trust every 13-year-old billionaire that I would see as well. But yesterday I was scrolling through YouTube and I saw a bunch of people who I used to see making content about a certain niche business model. They'd say, I became a millionaire from Airbnb, or I became a millionaire from dropshipping. And then yesterday when I was scrolling, I saw the same people making content about how I actually made all of my money selling digital products and online courses. And this got me thinking, well, that kind of sucks because they're liars, but the good news is this creates a huge opportunity for people like me and for people like you potentially watching this. So I'm gonna show you how I'm using AI to capitalize on this and make millions of dollars, but first I need to give you a bit of a lay of the land. So if I share my screen here, you'll see this pyramid. And in this pyramid are all of these people talking about digital products and online coaching. At the bottom here, we've got some videos from these people talking about how I built $1 million coaching business, how I built a $130K a month coaching business, another one, coaching business. All of these people who made money selling coaching and are now talking about how online coaching made them rich. And at the top of this hierarchy here are people like Iman Gadzhi and Alex Hormozi and William Brown, Jordan Welch, Ali Abdaal, and in no way am I hating on all of these people. I think they're absolutely fantastic entrepreneurs and fantastic business owners, but you have to think about the ripple effect that this creates. If the biggest personal brands in the world are teaching people how to build online coaching businesses, what happens next? That's typically a good question to ask yourself to see where opportunity will arise. So this is gonna create a domino effect. And what this domino effect looks like, and domino number one that's gonna fall over because of it, is online coaching will absolutely explode. This is a platform called Whop that allows you to sell digital products. And at the time that I took this screenshot, they've processed almost $1.5 billion through their platform. That means that people have spent about $1.5 billion on online coaches through a platform called Whop. And as much as I love Whop, they're not even the biggest player in this space. Kajabi, another online course hosting platform, had processed $6 billion in October 2023 and estimated $9 billion by early 2025. Teachable, which I think rebranded as Hotmart or used to be Hotmart, $10 billion plus. Thinkific, $500 million. And then Podia and School are other big software companies that allow you to do exactly the same thing. It's just a platform to host digital products. So billions of dollars are flowing in the digital product space right now, and this pyramid, this triangle up here, is only gonna accelerate this process. So the next domino that this knocks over is there are a fuck ton of coaches, and there's gonna be more coaches coaching coaches because people follow the leaders. People are gonna copy Iman, they're gonna copy Alex Hormozi because there's gonna be more and more coaches and coaches coaching coaches and coaches coaching coaches, which I know it's a really funny, stupid situation, but it also means, and let me get this GIF live here, you can get fucking rich from it. So let's talk about how we're gonna do just that. How can we capitalize on the online coaching gold rush and use AI to help us out? This is a man named Rich Paul, and you're probably thinking, why is Rich Paul on the screen here and what does this have to do with anything? Rich Paul owns a business called Clutch Sports, and he's an agent for professional athletes. So all of these people that you see on screen here are clients of his, including LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Ben Simmons, and Miles Bridges, who I actually think beat his ex-girlfriend, so don't take any inspiration from Miles Bridges here, but the more important part is Rich Paul is a fucking genius. He's worth $120 million because he's capitalizing on the attention that all of these people have. All of them make a lot of money, and he handles all of the back-end stuff. He handles all of the operations and the stuff that they don't want to deal with, and it's made him worth 9 figures because of it, and there he is sitting courtside with Kendall Jenner. Like, that's pretty fucking sick. I want to be like Rich Paul. So you might be wondering, how does this relate to online coaching and everything we've talked about so far? You can basically steal Rich Paul's business model, like I've done, and just work with a different type of entrepreneur, personal brand, because at the end of the day, that's what an athlete is. A very successful athlete is a business. They have all of this attention, they have all of these people that love them, and they need somebody like Rich Paul, like an agent, to help them fully capitalize. So I've done this exact thing in the online coaching industry. There are too many LeBrons and not enough Rich Pauls. There's too many online coaches and not enough Ben Baders, or whatever the fuck your name is. Maybe there's not enough of you, and you can become the Rich Paul to somebody's LeBron. All of the people that you see on screen here, you might recognize some of these faces. These are either current or former clients that I've worked with inside of my agency, 94 Marketing. This is my interpretation of Rich Paul. Here's me with a couple clients, Rob the Bank and Jimmy Farley, who are also some of my best friends. And all of these people, if you recognize any of them, like Sebastian Georgiou, Sebastian Escueda, Kevin Pack, Kevin Kunze, Mark Shapiro, they have all of this attention on social media, and they need somebody like me to help them capitalize on that attention. So hopefully you're starting to see the domino effect of this initial triangle that I showed you up here, but let's talk about why this works. It's no secret that online coaching is an absolute gold rush. It's a fantastic business model. It's lean, you're selling information, you have really high margins, and if you build a good product, you actually do change a lot of lives contrary to popular belief. But the thing is, not everybody can be an online coach because you have to be incredibly successful already. You have to have something to teach. You have to either have made millions of dollars in the business model you're teaching. Obviously you can lie, but let's just exclude that and pretend that you have some morals. So you have to be successful. You have to build a personal brand. You have to create content consistently. You have to deal with haters and people shaming you and calling you a sellout, course seller, guru, put the fries in the bag, and it works. But you need to be in a certain position that 99% of you are probably not in right now. You are not like LeBron. You're not 6'9", 250 pounds with a 40-inch vertical. You can't be LeBron, no offense. I always wanted to be LeBron too. But where I'm better suited is as a Rich Paul because I didn't have any of these things when I first started. I didn't have my own personal brand. I didn't really have anything to teach or anything to sell. So I just made NBA athlete money without being the NBA athlete. So as the AI operator, you work behind the scenes. You partner with people who already have attention. You take a percentage of the pie and you don't have to build your own personal brand. You don't have to be an expert. And it's more sustainable long term, you could argue, because a lot of the time these info businesses are short-lived. That's why all of these people are pivoting from I made my money with Airbnb to I made my money with digital products. Sure, some of them it'll work. Some of them they'll be able to continually kind of sell different offers, like Iman and Hormozi have done amazing jobs of that, but a good chunk of them won't. So it's kind of a short-lived like NFL running back career. An NFL running back has maybe 4 good years in their prime, and it can be the same way in online coaching, and you better hope that you make $10 million in those 4 years and you actually keep it and you do something smart with your money. Otherwise, you might end up being cooked, or what you're probably gonna end up doing is becoming an operator anyway. So that makes it more sustainable long-term, plus it beats other agency models. SMMA or the AI agency, you need dozens of clients, you have to work with roofers and plumbers and real estate agents and people you probably don't wanna fucking talk to all day. And you're a commodity at the end of the day, you're selling them a service they can replace you with the VA in Pakistan to do. And then when you compare it to high ticket sales, which I love sales, I employ salespeople, and I think it's a great way to stack some cash, but you do have capped income. You might hit 5, 10, 15K a month and quickly realize that you're spending all day on the phone, you're not really in control of your income, and you don't have this laptop lifestyle that you might have been sold in a TikTok. You're chained to your fucking desk trying to get people to give you their last dollar on Klarna. So when you compare it to these two models, AI operating clearly wins. And the next factor here is your timing in the market is absolutely perfect right now. Frankly, I started this 2 years ago, and I was a bit early. Although there were a lot of coaches, nobody was really talking about this model, and there wasn't AI to help you out. Now I can work with more clients and do a better job because of AI, and it's just an advantage that I didn't have a couple years ago, although it still has worked beautifully for me as I've made over $2.5 million with it in the past 2 years. But anyway, your timing is perfect because right now we're on domino number 3. All of these coaches are coaching coaches, and there's more coaches. And what do you think all of these successful coaches will do when their current offers dry up? They're gonna do the same thing, and the cycle will continue. There will be more coaches coaching coaches, and there's gonna be an even bigger pyramid than this one that I'm showing you here. So if you really wanna capitalize on this and make money from it, who should you work with and what should you offer? Let's get into the meat and potatoes here. You need to target coaches who are scaling but lack operational expertise. So you typically don't want to work with the person who wants to make 10 grand a month as a coach. That's absolute poverty in the coaching industry. If you run a coaching business making $10,000 a month, please just go work at Wendy's or do something else with your life, because you should not be a coach. But you want to find people that actually want to scale to multiple 6 figures a month and potentially even 7 figures a month with their online coaching business. So oftentimes these people need help with their funnels, their email systems, their VSL, their back-end infrastructure. And if I'm speaking French to you right now, don't worry, I'll show you how AI can do a lot of this for you. But basically, you provide the system that turns their attention into revenue. The same way Rich Paul helps LeBron capitalize on all of his attention and make smart moves with his money. Your goal is to get a 20 to 30% rev share of the clients that you work with. So that means if you make them 100 grand, they pay you 20 to 30K in a month. And that might sound like a pipe dream, but that's just because you have to find the right type of clients. I promise you, it's actually pretty simple once you understand this. So you need to look for coaches with audiences but messy systems. They have some traction. People are watching their content. People like their offer. They like their personality, but there's just all these pieces on the back end that they're not doing really well. Maybe they're not sending emails. Maybe their sales team isn't very good. Maybe their funnel is non-existent. There's all of these moving pieces on the back end that none of them on their own are very complicated, but it is a system. They all have to be kind of nurtured and watered like a plant so that they don't just break and you have this leaky bucket where you have all of these leads falling through the cracks. And the next type of client you're gonna look for is somebody pivoting from one niche to coaching. So this is somebody brand new. Like, let's say your Uncle Timmy has a lawn care business and Timmy's done well. He's made $5 million in lawn care and he's like, hey, Sonny, I want to get online and I want to start coaching people. I want to teach people how I built my lawn care business. And he starts making content on social media, and then people are like, wow, Uncle Timmy sounds really fucking smart. I want to learn how to build a lawn care business. So you help him build the entire infrastructure. You do all of the tech stuff, all of the back-end setup, which actually is really simple. And all he has to do is worry about making more content, getting more people to know, like, and trust him. And then when you sell people the coaching program, he just has to hop on calls with them, make sure that they're happy and make sure they don't charge back. And then you take 20 to 30% of Uncle Timmy's business and you're both happy. The next thing here is people overwhelmed by the operational side. We kind of went over that in the messy systems part, but basically it's somebody that has attention and they don't want to deal with all the back end stuff. Even if they know how to do it, it's just a whole other ball game and headache in itself. They'd rather just pay somebody a rev share to do it for them. So a good sign that they need help is they have good content and poor conversion. And here's where AI comes into play. Here's where you can use AI to your advantage and build these systems way faster than ever. And frankly, if you would have asked me a couple years ago if this is a business model that anybody can start, I would have told you no. I would have told you that it's too hard, that you need to learn too many things, there's too many moving parts, and you need to start with one simpler business and then potentially you can move to this. But AI has leveled the playing field. If you use AI correctly, it can do a lot of the work for you. Not to say it'll do everything for you and make you the best marketer in the world, but if you know how to prompt it, if you know how to utilize it, you are 100 times better than somebody who doesn't. I'm quite literally showing you a live example of how a coaching business works right now. I know, shocker, I have my own coaching business. I teach people to do exactly what I'm teaching you right now, but I also have my own clients and I make money from my actual agency and all of the clients that I showed you earlier in this video. So not only am I teaching this model, but I'm actively doing it, both in scaling my own coaching business and scaling my clients' coaching business. So in my case, I have the audience, I'm selling an info product called Artisan Lab that you can go check out in the description, but I'm also showing you how to be the operator behind somebody like me. My main job as a info product seller, as a course guru, is to make content and get attention and get people to know, like, and trust me, because you watching this video, that potentially will put dollars in my pocket because you'll be like, okay, this Ben guy doesn't seem like he's full of shit like the rest of them. Let me see what he's actually talking about. And then you click on the link in the description and then you go to the video sales letter and then you watch that and it convinces you to book a call and then you hop on with my team and you see if it's a good fit. If I didn't know how to do all of that, because I've been doing it for the last few years, if I didn't know how to do that, I'd have to hire somebody to do it for me and I would just focus on the content part. And on videos like this, people always like to comment like, oh, if it actually works, then why are you teaching it? First of all, I like money. You see this right here? This is a Porsche, this is a key to a Porsche 911 Turbo. I love my Porsche 911 Turbo, but I want a Ferrari. I want more cars. I want more money. I will tell you that straight up. I love money. So if there's a way for me to make more money, I'd be a fucking idiot to not do it. But the beautiful thing is here, I'm not creating competition. competition for myself because I'm good. I only need 1 to 3 clients to make as much money as I could possibly want from this model. And so do the people inside of my coaching program. You don't need to get dozens of clients. You're not directly competing with other people because there's plenty of coaches to go around and there's only going to be more and more. So I'm going to show you what the actual fulfillment side actually looks like. What's an example of something you would do for a coaching business? This is going to be really simple. I just want to give you the quickest kind of tangible example that I can. And I'm going to do this by taking somebody that you've probably seen on social media who sells coaching, TJR. He's a trader if you haven't seen him, but he has a coaching program that teaches people how to make money day trading. And what I did is I just went to his YouTube channel, and when you click the description and then you click more in somebody's YouTube video, you can see the transcript for their video. So all I had to do was copy that transcript, and then I come into ChatGPT, I paste the transcript into ChatGPT, and now it knows everything about Tyler, his business, everything he talked about in the video. It has the full context there. So I asked it to tell me everything it can about TJR based on the transcript, and it gave me his whole origin story, his philosophy and timeline when it comes to trading, his mental health, turning points. It knows everything it needs to know about him. And then I said, I want you to help me write a VSL for TJR's coaching program. What is the best VSL framework you have access to? Who created it and how does it work? Alternatively, I can upload a VSL framework from YouTube, guide me to either route that'll get us the best result possible. So here I'm just asking ChatGPT the best way to perform this task. And if you don't know what a VSL is, basically when you go to a landing page and you see an explainer video of somebody talking about their product, their journey, their offer, that is a video sales letter. It's geared to get somebody to take the next action, which is either buy a product or book a call. So I asked ChatGPT this question, and he said he can use Jason Fladlien's 9-step perfect webinar / VSL framework. Jason Fladlien is a really famous marketer. I have his book over there actually. So I was like, okay, that's perfect. Just use Jason Fladlien's stuff. And then I briefly asked ChatGPT if it had enough information about TJR to complete this task exceptionally. It said yes, but it needed a few things on clarity on the offer. So I made it up because I obviously TJR isn't my client. I'm just doing this for an example. But let's say he offers a high ticket coaching program for $5,000. It's a cohort with live calls and previous call recordings. Don't disclose the price in the VSL. We're pushing prospects to book a call. I named the program TJR's Minions, and the audience I said is aspiring traders who want to escape the rat race in school. And then I told it to script the full VSL without using common AI phrases like no fluff and similar phrases, because I fucking hate when it does that. And then, boys and girls, here's the cool part. So before I continue, let me clarify that this is not the best prompt in the world, and any of you AI nerds who are like, oh, you don't even know how to prompt it correctly, I know this isn't the best in the world. This is just an example of what you can do. Even with a pretty shit prompt, you can still get a decent VSL that I could send this to TJR if he was my client right now, and it would perform well. So he starts off with the big promise, the hook, the false belief stack, personal story, credibility, the vehicle, the minion path, he calls it, case study, social proof, offer stack, risk reversal, all of these principles that marketers have used forever to sell pretty much everything under the sun, and this is pretty solid. So just like that, I now know how to write a VSL. And if I wanted to do the same thing for emails, let's say TJR sends a few emails to his list every week, I could have ChatGPT do it for me again. So I said, let's move on to emails. I want to send 3 a week to nurture and sell to his list. These should be story driven, 300 to 400 words with the soft CTA to apply for coaching seamlessly weaved in. The link will take them to our VSL funnel. And just like that, ChatGPT wrote 3 emails for me based on the initial transcript that I gave it. So all of these are story driven. He talks about the $4 burrito that changed everything. And it's this full story that he tells in the YouTube video. And then the next one is another story. And the last one is a trading technique. And obviously you can get way more technical with this, but just to kind of give you the bare bones here, AI can do a lot of it for you. If TJR was actually my client, I would probably take every video he's ever posted. I would take his course content. I would have him send me videos of his like full story. I basically have this onboarding document that I send to every client that I sign that has 11 questions on it, and it prompts them to reply to me with a voice memo for each question. And then once they send that back to me, I use that as like my client's second brain. So on that voice memo, it'll be like 30 minutes to an hour even sometimes. and I'll just put that transcript into ChatGPT, and then anytime I want to do literally anything in their business, ChatGPT or Claude or whatever AI of your choice already knows pretty much everything it needs to know about the client. So hopefully you're understanding how simple this actually is. It's not nearly as difficult as it was when I first started. And now you might be thinking, well, how do I actually grow a coaching business? Cool, I understand how to write emails, write VSLs, but like, what do I do to make it grow? There are 3 ways to make pretty much any high ticket coaching or service business grow. 1, you can increase traffic. 2, you can increase conversions. And 3, you can increase the customer LTV. Increase in traffic means make better content or run paid ads. Increase conversions means have a better system to sell people once they see you. And increase customer LTV means sell more shit or sell higher price shit to the same people. So your job as the AI operator typically starts with number 2 and number 3, and then you potentially expand to number 1. So when I first get a client, I'm building the back-end infrastructure for them. They have some existing traffic. I do everything that I can to increase, or if I'm building them from scratch, to start the conversion process. So I'm writing the VSL, starting the emails, starting all of the back-end kind of automations and systems within the business, so that when we get more traffic and my client makes content, we know that every eyeball we get, we're accounting for. When somebody is attracted to our content and they're like, oh, I'm actually interested in this thing, what happens next? My job is the what happens next. And the cool thing is, like, you can get an info business to $500,000 a month just focusing on these 2 things. If you get enough traffic and you have a really solid mechanism to convert that traffic, you don't even really have to focus on the customer LTV. Obviously doing so will make you more money, but at first, as long as you do these 2 things well, your client is good at getting attention and getting more traffic, and you're really good at increasing the conversions, then you have a solid info business and you're probably making good money right there. And then the 3rd lever here is pretty easy to pull. You just sell more stuff to the people that have already bought from you and already trust you, so it's gonna be pretty easy to sell to them. So you can sell them more access or in-person access or even downsells, cross-sells, other shit that they're gonna want after they buy from you. So to put it simply, you are the brain behind the face. And you might be thinking, well, I wanna be the face, I'm pretty handsome. Fuck you. You're gonna be the brain behind the face. So this leads me to my final domino that's gonna fall here in this series of events. And this domino is gonna be getting 1 to 3 clients on a 20 to 30% rev share. You scale them to 100K a month, and soon enough, the last domino falls over, which I already kind of gave you a hint, but it's gonna be you and me and the boys at the Ferrari dealership getting a fucking 488 Pista because we capitalized on the best opportunity in the market right now. And I can show you some proof of this. Here's Yahe, he's a member inside of my coaching program where I teach people how to do exactly what I'm showing you right now. Yahe collected $100,000 in a single day for a client. The day before, he made him 150K from this challenge funnel that he ran with him. They did 400K in revenue total. I don't want to disclose exactly what his rev share is on this, but I can guarantee you he made multiple 5 figures from his rev share when he made a client $400,000. Now, in no way can I guarantee you the same results because Yahe is an absolute beast and most of you probably will take 0 action on anything that I tell you today, but I do have all these other people who are getting similar results, like Aloe, who closed a 3K setup plus 35% rev share, or Ashford, 3K setup plus 30%, 25% rev share here. And then Ralphie closed a client on a 30% rev share. And then lastly here, I have Scott, who is a former Artisan Lab member, who said, I was in AL, was never super active, but I have a client right now I took to 100K per month on a 50% profit share. Would you like to make 50K a month from one client? I'm sure you would. So anyway, my friend, the online coaching gold rush is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It's only gonna get worse and worse. And there's only gonna be more and more coaches, and you can either complain about it or you can capitalize on it. I don't know about you, but I like capitalizing on things rather than complaining about them. So if you wanna join me, you can click the link in the description to get direct coaching from me. Anyway, thanks a ton for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share this with your grandma. Watch the next video that's probably right here. It might be over here. Wherever the fuck the next video is, just click on that because it's probably a banger too. Anyway, share this with your grandma. Bye.